Cause Nation, Sanbunan Rafetu, welcome back to Blue Trains with me. QP. Now, on today's video, guys, I do have something that we need to talk about, or to discuss briefly. As far as I'm concerned, I'm being told the deal of Kaizer and Brendan Peterson is very, very close to come to an end. Like it's close to, let's say, for them to wrap up and finish, their talks in terms of the negotiations. Because currently, Tiwa Kaizer doesn't just want to give Brendan Peterson a year, but they want to give him at least a few years, meaning he will be with us for a lot more seasons than just a year. So that is what I'm being told. The deal will be concluded and it will be done and final. So it's only a matter of time until we get the final verdict. But very soon, guys, I will be reporting to you and telling you what it deal ihambe kanjani. And then also, moving on, guys, there's something that I saw actually on the comments, as I was watching. Someone said, QP, I feel like if Kaizer were to sign a new goalkeeper, currently we are left with about 15 games or 14 games, if I'm not mistaken. That someone said if Kaizer were to sign a coach currently, that coach will be able to start afresh, use the players that are currently there, understand the weaknesses and strengths of what Kaizer needs to do in terms of the next coming transfer window. But okay, this is what we need to do. These are the kind of players that we need to sign. This is how we're going to go about with our coming season for the future. But one problem with this thing, because I understand, as much as I understand it's a good thing, but one problem I have with this is the fact that at the end of the day, you know how Kaizer operate. They're not the ones to take orders, but they are the ones to give out orders. So it might be a bit of a problem, bit of a challenge for us to say, okay, Kaizer is going to sign a goalkeeper, because trust me, guys, it makes a lot of sense. Because if you give a coach enough time, then we are okay, this is what I'm working with, this is what I need to fix in order for me to be able to succeed and get what I need. But also, as I've said, yes, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. A coach can come in, look at the players, look at the squad, determine uthi lona ngimfuni, this and this guy is not good enough. These are the areas that I need to, make sure that I strengthen, bring those kind of players, bring this new and like that. Also changing the entire system, starting afresh, doing everything that the coach will be bringing to the club. But also, as I've said, it's going to be a problem, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, guys, a new coach coming in, obviously a lot of things, that means we're going to start afresh, with the defensive solidarity that we currently have. That means all of that is going to go away, and then we're going to start afresh again. It's a new working system that is going to work for us, with what we have already. For me, I feel like it's a bit special, because Yazuti, whenever we're playing at the back, we have a Brendan Peterson, we have Abu Aiden Inaso, because let's be honest, guys, as much as a lot of people do not like the center back pairing of Miguel Nokwenika, so far it has worked very well for us. And if it's not Miguel, then him being partnered with Aiden McCarthy, it works wonders. Or Aiden McCarthy being partnered with Inaso Miguel, that also works very well. So far with Umsimang, I understand in Labazama fitness, game time and all of that, but let's be honest, guys, it has not yet worked for us. Since it's Talukdala with Simango, we have not kept any clean sheet. We've always had those mistakes, and you understand, Wuti, it's a system that is already there, that is already built. Which, okay, whenever we have this player and that player, we are going to make sure, Wuti, at the back we are solid defensively. You understand? So it's something that I feel like a new coach coming in would say, okay, I want to see this guy, I want to see that guy. Obviously, he's gonna do that, experiment, and then at the end of the day, what we already had is not gonna be valid, because it's something okay, this thing doesn't work for me, I need to change it and do things differently. I think it's the same thing that was done by coach Absalom Wadu when he got to Orlando Pirates. He made a lot of changes, which obviously we saw Orlando Pirates not performing at their best level, and then they decided, what, let me just try and get things back to the way they were. You understand? So it's complicated, guys. It's not that easy, it's not that simple, but also I do get the point. Sure, definitely with the remaining games, it could be a good advantage for a new coach to come in and experiment. You understand? So I don't know, guys. I don't know what to say in terms of this. I don't even know how to, respond to what this guy is saying, because at the end of the day, he has a valid point. That thing could work for us. And also, another problem, as I've said, we know how Kaizer Chiefs operate. We know what definitely a new coach coming in, that doesn't mean that suddenly Kaizer Chiefs is just going to say whatever you want, because they failed with one of the highest, most high privileged coaches that came along, which was Coach Nazruddin Nabi. They decided, no, this is not going to work out for us. Tina, we need someone who will listen to what we have to say, so that we can be able to get where we need to be. So that is all that you need to think about, guys. But anyways, it would have been something great. It would work for us. But hey, as I've said, the problem with the management, you guys understand. There's a lot of things that Kaizer management did, which you think about it, we are talking with Mara, those things don't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. For example, let me just talk about when we first brought Coach Nabi. Stale Samfuna, guys, before we signed him, during that time, 2023 to 2024 season, Masimfuna, we could not get him because he wanted to come with his own set of principles, his own technical team, everything. He wanted it to be a clean slate, very, very fresh. And then what you want, no, we can't do that, because already we do have those kind of people, and we do have a system that is already working. We just need you to come in and coach. That's it. We don't want anything else. And then Nabi said, no, if you guys want me, then definitely you will do what I want you guys to do for me. But if that's not the case, then definitely I'm not coming there. And really, he did not come. Okay, fine. And then fast forward, there are certain players that were signed, and you look at those players and you might say, okay, it makes sense. He's just wanted to sign this player because we were lacking in this department. But let's be honest, there was a player that we were linked with as a striker for the longest time. We did not get to sign the striker. Instead, Silesambi Susaile, guys. Think about this. Silesambi Susaile to Super Sport while it was still Super Sport before the relegation and stuff. And then Semaster to Kambisa Osaile. In return, because we do not want to just let go of him for free. In return, we got Teshrick Morris. A lot of us were like, okay, how did this happen? We were skeptical because it was because we wanted to open up a foreign quota, a space, so that we can be able to say, okay, now we've opened up the foreign quota, we can be able to bring in an international striker. That's what we were thinking. All of us, that's what we were thinking. And then it did not happen that way. We brought in Morris, And then I don't even remember if Umoris Uzekala or Ulilepo Ozekala, and then later on we brought on Ulilepo, which in my understanding that is a player that was well admired by Coach Nazarin Nabi. He wanted him a long time ago, even before he joined Kaizer Chiefs. So I don't know guys. I'm not saying it is the case, but I'm just trying to make a point to it. There are certain things that have happened which you can see clearly. It is the management or the Kaizer Chiefs side ebazifunela yona ibe kanjalo, despite what the coach wants. Because at the end of the day, guys, you can't just hire a coach and say what the coach wants doesn't matter. What matters is what I want. Well, if you want what you want, then you need to give that coach those flexibilities, those muscles, so that he can be able to sign whoever he wants to sign. So I don't know guys, but these are just my opinions. I feel like most with South African clubs, they only give you players, maybe one or two players that you can make for yourself and say, okay, I want that player, and then but other than that, all of the other players, they decide themselves, okay, definitely we're taking this one, we're not taking that one. So that is what I want us to consider in terms of that statement that was said by another Kose fan. And then I look at your comments, guys. I do have Bendi says Ntwari Magahambe. Well, I don't know, but I do know for the fact that Kaizer just wanted to let him go and bring in another international goalkeeper, because they do not want a South African goalkeeper, according to them. And then Sandy, you can't change coaches at this time of the season. That is true. Does send a lot of disruptions, but also it can work. It's a good idea. It's something that can work. But I understand why you're saying this. And then Mobiende again says we have good players, but the current coaches can bring the best out of those marvelous players. And what is their philosophy? Oh, do they even know what is Kaizer's philosophy? Ntwari plus them, they should vie. Hey, Nyaguzo Bende. As you've said, it doesn't look like our current coaches do have a philosophy. I feel like a philosophy, no matter what it takes, you win games. So I don't know, but I feel like if that is a philosophy, then that's what they are using for them to say, okay, Tina, it doesn't matter how we play as long as we win games. And one thing about that, it's dangerous, guys. Let's be honest, it's dangerous. It might, bring a lot of bad things. Another thing I wanted to quickly touch on, guys. I've heard people talk about the fact that, a coach, if a coach comes in, that coach should be, I think I will do a full video in terms of that, but if a coach comes in, that coach should just win the league. Amateur trophies, they don't matter that much. Well, for me, I would argue otherwise, because those same people that are saying this, there's a coach, a South African, not South African, an actual coach who was coaching a South African PSL team, did not win the league, but he was lifting trophies. And Utemanto Tukhamba, he was regarded as one of the best coaches ever. And then there's another South African coach who did not win a lot of trophies, but he was constantly winning the league. And then Utemanto Tukhamba, people praised him and said he's one of the best coaches. So you know what, let's just save this one for a video later on, guys. We will talk about it more in depth later on. For now, please don't forget to like the video. Let me just leave you with those questions, and also I will be here for us to be able to answer that one.